Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Leon. It's the 2nd of January 2019, our first day of trading, and I'd like to just run through a couple of things with you. Trades that have been in for this week, and explain to you what it is that we're looking at and how our trading went today. We roughly, probably about 50 minutes finished from finishing the day. New York's the only place that's open at this point, and yeah, we've got 31 minutes to go, and that'll be the end of the first trading day. Alright, so currently I'm looking at the DAX. I just want to give you an idea for why I'm looking at the DAX and where this all started. I normally take my trades based on the larger time frames, and in this instance I'm looking at the weekly chart on the DAX. And in particular, what drew my attention to this is the fact that we have fair value, a nice big fat fair value in this area, and then we had a nice impulse wave move off here, or institutional move, or a footprint chart. You can call it a couple of things. You can call it Donald fall, like here, but the move is up and up and up, and this is not so much what I'm looking at now. What I'm looking at is when price comes back into these areas, especially on the larger time frames. It very seldom just pushes through an area. You'll see that there will always be some form of resistance. There'll be back and forth movement, and this is where I like to start trading, or I like to start looking for reasons to trade either in the opposite direction, or wait for it to trade through and then look for continuation in the same direction. In this instance, we're going to be looking at trading in a different direction. Okay, now this is probably one of the biggest things that retail has a problem with, and that is directional bias. If you understand which direction you're trading in, and the reasons behind it, then you can be relatively successful. If you get confused, however, that can be very, very detrimental to your account. So I suggest, if you're a new trader, if you're not too experienced in trading, then please stick with the larger time frames. You may miss a lot of trades, but that's okay. Missing a trade there's nothing wrong with that. It's when you start losing your money because you want to catch every trade, that's going to cost you an awful lot. Okay, so stick to the larger time frames and stick with fewer trades, but there'll be more secure trades, definitely more secure trades. Alright, so now that we know which direction we're looking at, we know that the DAX is moving in a downward direction, but I also know that we're now into a fair value area, and I'm going to be looking for reasons for a possible change in direction. Okay, and if I drop down to a lower time frame, let's just go down to a 4-hour chart. You can see it becomes very, very clear and obvious that there is going to be an ultimate change in direction. Look at the divergence that's available here. If you look on the MACD, this is something retail would look at. This is bullish divergence for me. It's going to go to the upside. The momentum is getting less, yet the pressure of selling is getting more and more to the downside, and it's getting more aggressive at that, you see. And when that happens, you know that a change in direction is imminent. Now, how far it will go is debatable. Anybody can it's anybody's guess, but all I am interested in is getting the perfect entry in such a manner that I am able to control the trade. So if it does come against me, I can get out and there's no harm done. If I get a nice entry and it moves in my favor, I can be in that trade for an awful long time. So to save time, I'm going to bob down to a lower time frame now again, and we're going to be looking at trades that we were busy with in this week. And I want to go back to, this is now the 15-minute chart. And I'm going to take it from the start of the 27th, because this is the interesting part. Price is moving in a sideways notion. This was in the Christmas period. Okay, ultimately on the 27th there was a nice big gap opening to the upside, and initially everybody, I'm sure, would be looking to close this gap and then go to the upside, and the trade certainly did indicate that there was a possible market maker buy entry along on the other time frames if you look along these lines. But what we were looking at is the entries down here. This is where I was very interested in getting price to go to, and that I got off the weekly chart. So we waited, and sure enough, price came right down into our area, And what we were looking for, once it hit that area, once it hits the larger time frame area where I expected price change to take place, I then start looking for things like footprint charts or impulse waves, and that gives me an idea of where price is going to be going next. So on the 15-minute chart, you can see this is what happened. We had marked this area out before price got here. Okay, then lo and behold, there was this impulse wave. Can you see there? Very powerful move to the upside. Now that in itself was not important. That to me is just a warning signal to say that this could be the possible area where change is going to take place. What I did was I wait for price to return back into this area, because this little signal over here, this bar and the next bar that was so bullish, this constitutes finished business to me. Okay, and what that means is that I do not expect price to go beyond this point. I expect it to come back and visit it, but not to go beyond here. And when I see this happening, now I get really excited, and you can even go down into lower time frames to pinpoint this better, something I can go through at a later stage. But you can see there's the impulse wave, here's a corrective wave. The corrective wave takes a long time to get down here, whereas the impulse wave was 1, 2, 3 candles, and it took another what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles to come back to the same area. So you can see there's commitment here. Money had been committed in this area. So now when price comes back, I expect further commitment in light of the fact that I do not expect a change in direction from here. I don't expect this price to go beyond here. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So as price started moving back into our favor, we took the first set of trades. There was a second set that we took, and that was off a lower time frame. Let's just pop down to the 5 minutes, see if we can see it. 5 minute, let's see if there's in the 1 minute. There you go. There. On the 1 minute chart, this is what happened. There's an impulse wave there. There's fair value developing at the top of an impulse wave. That for me is a reason to go long, and we went long on that. You could also have waited for this impulse wave, a second impulse wave to come, and look for the correction and find the optimal trade entry in this area here and go long on it. We didn't. We did it a little bit earlier, but nonetheless we were into that trade very, very smartly. Okay, so if I go back into the 15-minute chart, I just want to show you that price then was very aggressive in its move all the way up here. Okay, and it did broken structure here again. Now this is very interesting to me. As soon as this happens, I get very interested in the trade, because now it's another confirmation that price is going long. At the end of the day, we had a doji-like candle here with a move back down into the price range, and this in itself is also indicative of a possible change in direction. So when that happens, you can see this is finished business at bottom edge. This would be finished business at top edge. Ultimately I'm going for this area here, but if I see something like this develop, then I understand that this move is not going to go through on the first return into this area. It'll have to go for a second or third return, and then price will move into a different area. So once this had formed, I knew I was expecting lower prices to come around again. Okay, and that's actually what did happen. Can you see? Price came down, and then only did it go to the top. All right, so let's get to today's trading. This was the first of today's trading, and here we go. This morning we had, can you see that this also constitutes finished business at top edge. I don't expect a return to that level immediately on the first turn. I don't expect that price to be broken, and it wasn't. There's your top edge there. Okay, and you can see that price came back into this area once, and the second time it came in. Once this is done, if it does this the second time, okay, then this changes from finished business to unfinished business. Once this thing has been hit the second time, I now expect it to be broken, okay, on the subsequent visits. And you can see if I extrapolate this across, this is what happened. It had 1, 2, 3 visits, and then on the fourth visit it broke through here. Okay, now that happens when there's a neat finish like this. If it's smooth like this, then you can expect in the very near future this thing is going to be broken. Why? Because everybody that's gone short in here and in here and in here will have their stops residing just over here, all right, in this area. And next time price comes back, it's going to take those stops out. okay, for people that are in that trade too long. All right. So the next thing we looked at this morning, there's this gap down. Price came back up, and then we tried to find the best opportunity to find a long entry. Okay, now if there's a gap opening to the downside, why would that happen? That is to, in my mind, they're trying to run these stops over here, these over here, and what I would do then is take my, I'm looking for a reason to go long, okay, because we've decided that we're going to go long, and I'm looking for the reasons to go long. And if I took my Fibbo tool this morning, amongst other things, you could see that we pinpointed this area here as a possible long area, okay. And oops, so sorry, my bad. There's a way to pinpoint this much better. Again, I don't have time to go into the details of it, but in subsequent lessons I can teach you how to do that. Price, we were looking at these areas being knocked out, okay, and also you can see that there's a very nice doji that formed over here, and that all these things combined gives us a confluence of entries into a buy opportunity right here, okay, and that's where this comes from. So this morning during London Open, this is exactly what happened. Price came down into our area, we took another trade out here, and of course the response was clear to see. There it goes. There was yet another entry in this area here. You can see price came back. As it came back, we knew it would be coming into this area here. I did not take another trade because I'm already long here. I'm long 2 positions here from the 27th, and I took another trade here this morning. That's plenty for me, okay. So price went up, it's come back down, and they were working the 105.20 area was being worked here, okay. And then later during London was still not closed, but New York had opened. You know, there's that overlap time. It was before London closed. Price actually went up right into this level here, and when it got here, I took some of these trades off the table. Not all of it. From each trade I took some money, and I cleared most my positions out for the day in this area. And the reason I did that is because I knew this is now becoming unfinished business to me. All right, so this area, because it was visited here, it was visited here for a second time, now there's a third visit here, this is becoming unfinished business, and I'm looking for a stop hunt to take place over here. All right, I would be looking for a stop hunt here, and price had moved right through there. This is my target for the day. This is where I hope price would go to. Right now it doesn't look like it. Look at this massive drop in here, you see. But am I nervous at all? Not so, because I've already taken most of my profits off these trades here, and I've got long time to wait. It's not important for me. I can sit this out for a while, okay. I'm still bullish the currency at this time. On this time frame, we're starting to look at possible change in direction, but I like to trade off the higher time frame. So I'd really only get really nervous if it goes beyond this level here. Then I would change my mind. But right now, this is what's in the pipeline right now, okay. So with this little bit of time left, another 15 odd minutes, I'm not too sure that we're going to hit that today. I will probably look at that tomorrow, okay. But that's where we are. This is the trading for today, and we've done very, very well. We can look at the stat. If it's here, stat's not here. All right. Where is it? There we go. There we go. That's our close for the day, and that's very nice in anyone's book. So I'm very happy with what transpired today, and guys, with that I wish you all the best. I trust you trade well, trade safely, and be careful in the markets. Have a nice day. Bye bye.